Back here at World Egg Expo, live coverage this time. We want to thank Phil Karstein from USDA, one of the top USDA, actually the top USDA official that visited with us last night, along with Agriculture Secretary Karen Ross. We'll be playing that interview with our Agriculture Secretary from California as well a little bit later on. But right now we have Claude Corcos with us from Toro here at World Egg Expo. Claude, how are you?
I'm doing well, Bill. Thanks.
Well, thanks for joining us here. What's Toro all about this year at World Egg Expo? What are you featuring?
Well, so Toro is a manufacturer of drip irrigation or micro irrigation equipment based here in California. And so we're showing all of our equipment to help growers save water and be more efficient in their application of fertilizer and other things that go through the drip irrigation system.
You know, water is a big factor here in California. I mean, this is an ongoing story that has just been going on for years, and really, we need people like Toro to get involved with these producers to try to manage our water. What specifically can you tell us about how to relieve that effort?
Well, there are lots of things that growers are doing to improve their practices, and water, as you say, is such a big issue right now. That's a huge focus for them. The way Toro is helping growers is providing innovative solutions and high quality solutions for them to use drip irrigation, to get into drip irrigation technology, and enable them to. There's a time check. Apparently we're at 10:15.
It's actually an announcer. It's not divine intervention. We thought it would be.
Okay, good.
That's
so,
all right.
and we can just talk right over them. Okay, good. So what we want to do is help growers implement drip irrigation as easily as they possibly can. So we make sure that that the products that we manufacture are easy to install, easy to use, and that we help teach growers how to use it and get the most benefit out of their investment.
Yeah, and the way technology is today, it just seems like it's tough for a consumer or producer or anybody for that matter to keep up with the times sometimes with the way innovation and technology continues to excel. Is that what we're kind of seeing, some new products here with Toro?
Well, yeah, so I'll start with how to teach growers, how to use drip irrigation. And so we've spent a lot of time developing educational content and teaching methods, to try to show them how to be the most successful. And we have in our booth, we have a new education tent to help highlight all of the pieces that we've developed that really help growers understand how to use the products and use the technology in very broad terms. And to that effect, we also have a new software package that help growers visualize what the performance of their system will be before they ever put it in the ground. And so we've spent a lot of time developing that. Once growers make the decision that drip irrigation is right for their operation, then we start talking about the various products. And so and we have a number of new products at the show as well. We have a new drip tape that's a brand new category of drip tapes. And so we call it a flow control. It's Aquatrax is the product name, and this is a new flow control product. And it improves uniformity, so it's much better uniformity than has been available in the past with drip tape. But with other devices that really improve uniformity, pressure compensating devices that are designed for hilly ground, you can't control how much water you apply to the field because it's just fixed. Well, flow control product allows growers to increase the amount of flow, but do it in a uniform fashion. So if you need a little bit more water, you can increase the flow to the field. If you need a little bit less water, you can decrease the flow to the field, but keep it very, very uniform, even on those hilly ground, on hilly ground, or on very long runs of lengths of run.
How long has that been out?
We launched that in November, so it's brand new, and it's been doing well. It was in field testing for 2 years prior to the launch back in November.
Any particular sector of agriculture that more favors that than others?
So drip tape is more suitable for row crops. Vegetables and berries and melons and things like that. Although we're doing more and more subsurface drip irrigation on crops like corn, cotton, alfalfa, those sorts of crops as well. And that's well suited because those are very long rows typically, and we want good uniformity on those very long rows with big fields.
Yeah, November is pretty recent. You just launched that. Any kind of feedback so far on that?
Well, we're a global business, and so we sell everywhere around the world, and so there are parts of the world that are in the middle of their growing season,
Sure.
and we've supplied, and the field testing, like I say, has been going on for a couple of years. So the feedback is excellent, and so the combination of high uniformity with the ability to control water, again maintaining that uniformity, has been very valuable to growers, and the product's working well.
And what's the product called again?
Aquatrax Flow Control. Flow Control.
Flow Control.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we think of, when I think of, a lot of people may be watching this, think of Toro, I think of, maybe a lawnmower or
Right.
something, but it's so much more than that, obviously.
Yeah. Well, this business that we have is, again, headquartered here in California, and it's dedicated exclusively to drip irrigation for agriculture.
Yeah, and the efficiency is the key to this, obviously. Any idea how much water you might save versus using another conventional method?
Yeah, it depends on the application on the crop. Some crops you can save as much as 50% of the water. Most growers, what they find is they use about the same amount of water, but they get far higher yields or better quality. So, it's really of water use efficiency. It's a question of water use efficiency as opposed to absolute water use.
You're hitting all the key areas that you need to hit when you irrigate.
Right.
Any other products you want to tell us about?
Sure. We have a couple of other new products. We have a new micro sprinkler, a new pressure compensating micro sprinkler for tree crops. And so that was introduced at actually right after last year's World Ag Expo. We missed it, unfortunately, so we weren't able to introduce it. So that's new this year at the World Ag Expo, and that's for tree crops, which of course here in California are taking off, and lots of activity around those types of crops.
I would think this would be a small sprinkler, is what you're talking about.
It's a tiny little plastic sprinkler. Yeah, I don't have one, but it's a
Yeah.
tiny little plastic sprinkler. Again, pressure compensating for hilly areas. We also have a non-pressure compensating one we've had out for a long time for flat ground.
You take a look at some of these products and how, the research and development going into something like this. Like, I'm just kind of curious, how long has something like this been in the works? I mean, obviously you're just evolving and getting better year after year, right?
Well, there's an aspect to that, where some of the ideas are around for a very long period of time, but sometimes the materials technology or the manufacturing technology isn't quite available yet to make our vision come true. And so it takes years to develop these projects. Flow control is a 5-year project, 3 years to get it to field testing, and then fine tuning after that.
Sure. So flow control and the micro sprinkler. Anything else you want to share?
Well, we just opened a new distribution center in Fresno, and so that's brand new. I think we opened that in January. And so our grand opening for the new distribution center will be on Thursday next week. And so that's very exciting because, again, the market is really doing well here in California, and we need to expand to support that.
You always like to hear when you're launching new things, and especially distribution centers. I mean, that means you're doing something right at Toro.
And doing our best to add jobs to the valley.
Yeah. Well, Claude Corcos, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time.
Toro, where can people go to find more information?
Go to Toro.com, and our blog site is at driptips.toro.com.
Drip tips, I like that.
Yeah.
Drip tips at Toro.com. Okay. All right, we're going to go to GO2 now, and we're going to talk with our sponsors there, and we'll be back with more live coverage here on WAE.TV coming up in just a few minutes.